I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend their unity and uphold their honor and glory. So help me God. Almighty God, Creator and ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our counsels and actions, so that we may always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with thy grace to do only those things that will promote the unity, peace, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria. And proceedings of Tuesday, 7th October 2025. Honorable members, date is Thursday, 16th October 2025. Venue, Transcorps requested to attend. Honorable colleagues, today we have in our midst Solcom. Please sit down. We also have students coming from...
I represent the entire people of Ikore-Ekpene, Esienudum, Oborokara Federal Constituency. The Speaker, esteemed colleagues, I am a proud son of Akwa-Ibom State. I rise this morning to present a petition authored by Fortress and Shepherd's attorneys and signed by Francis Ekwere Esquire, titled Sterling Petrochemicals and Fertilizer Limited, a petition in favor of these Nigerians. It is exhibited on the face of the petition itself. May I crave the indulgence of the Right Honourable Speaker to lay this petition before this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Please go ahead.
Distinguished colleagues, my name is Idem Unyime, member representing Ukanafun, Rowanam Federal Constituency of Akwa-Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to present a petition from one of my constituents, a police officer that was wrongfully dismissed by name Mr. Ubong Inem. He has come this morning through my humble self to appeal to this House to look into this matter so that he can get justice. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to crave your indulgence to lay this petition.
Please go ahead. Any more petitions?
Okala Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise this morning to move for the suspension of relevant standing orders of our rules, so as to enable me lay this matter on as urgent assistance for the affected victim of a flood disaster in my federal constituency. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to the first leg? Or
honorable colleagues, in the month of September, as a result of the heavy release of water from Lagbo Dam in Cameroon and Kiri Dam in Adamawa, combined with the incessant heavy rain that occurred this year, 3 of the local governments of my constituency were affected. A lot of destructions in homes, schools, facilities, healthcare facilities, and public infrastructure were destroyed. The local governments affected are in Karilamido, we have Jen Ardido, Jen Kaigama, Nana Primary School, Fitowa, Wanwa, Garin Kodi, Wanda, Unawashi, Didango, and Usmanu. And in local government, we have Bui, Hayanbu, Biwi Santana, Buyu Baba, Kanawa, Jillai, and Angwon Kuka. In Ardokola local government, we have Tau, Zango Nkombi, and Maraneo. Mr. Speaker, sir, the prayers here is Though I wish to acknowledge the Northeast Development Commission and other federal government agencies that took intervention there, but for now, most of the people are still in their need of those infrastructures, like building materials and other items that will save them from the destruction of the rain and other affected communities. Prayers to urge the National Emergency NEMA to immediately provide at least most of them building materials that will repair those primary schools and affected infrastructures in those areas and other essential needs of the people. Also, NEMA and the NCFRAM to provide equally the same materials for the victim. We call on the federal government to intensify the security of the dams and other early warning systems to warn the people living in the riverine area immediately so as to avoid the recurrence of these very damaging infrastructures. The House appreciates His Excellency, the Governor of Taraba State, for the prompt intervention in this very important issue that affects our people. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Northeast Development Commission for further legislative action. Before we proceed to the next matter of urgent public importance, let me use
Francis Ejirogan Ewive is my name. I rise to move this morning for the suspension of our...
Honorable colleagues, Ahmed Jaha Babao is my name. Chibok Damboa Goza Federal Constituency is where I represent. Mr. Speaker, with the leave of the House, I rise to apply for the suspension of the relevant rules to allow me bring up a matter of urgent public importance on urgent need to redeploy troops of multinational joint task force to border communities of Kirawa and Wulgo in Borno State, Nigeria. I so move. Thank you.
Any seconder? Honorable Okafo.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Ahmed Jaha, once again, Chibok Damboa Goza Federal Constituency. The House note the recent unfortunate gruesome attack by Boko Haram insurgents on border communities of Chibok and Wulgo, resulting in deaths and burning of several homes, including the house of district heads of Kirawa community. Aware that the attack forced many residents of Kirawa
Honorable
community...
Kero and your group, please, can you find your seats, please?
Aware that the attack forced many residents of Kirawa community to abandon their homes, as over 5,000 people have reportedly fled across the border into the Republic of Cameroon after Boko Haram invaded the border town of Kirawa in Borno State on Tuesday, the 2nd day of October 2025. Informed that Boko Haram claimed responsibility for the attack in a video which showed insurgents setting ablaze a base of multinational joint task force stationed in Kirawa by the Cameroonian army. Also aware that the multinational joint task force is a multinational military formation of Benin, Cameroon, Chad, Niger, and Nigeria, with a mandate to combat insurgencies like Boko Haram in the Lake Chad Basin, to address the cross-border crime, counter-terrorism, and create safe environment, reduce violence, and support stabilization and humanitarian programs in the region. Further aware that the multinational joint task force operates under the political leadership of the African Union, AU, and the Lake Chad Basin Commission, LCBC, and conducts operations including aerial campaigns to destroy terrorist camps and disrupt illegal activities, intervenes in arms smuggling attempts to disrupt support network for insurgents and aim to restore peace and security while fostering conditions for economic growth and free movement. Acknowledge the call by His Excellency Babagana Umar Zulum, the most hardworking governor in the country, the Borno State governor, on the federal government and military authorities to deploy soldiers to key border communities in Borno State, including Kirawa, Wulgo, Baga, Damasak, and Malam Fatori. Also acknowledges the governor's visit to the theater commander of operations Hadin Kai, the general officer commanding GOC of the 7th Division of the Nigerian Army, and the force commander for the multinational joint task force, and the assurance that the troops will be deployed to Kirawa within a short period of time. Worried that earlier warnings on the dangers of living borders communities and manned an initial request for troop deployment to these border communities had not received adequate attention from the multinational joint task force and the Nigerian military authorities. Resolve, urge the Nigerian Army and the relevant military authorities to immediately facilitate the redeployment of troops of the multinational joint task force for effectively secure the border communities of Kirawa and Wulgo in Borno State. I so move.
Honorable Oga.
Okay, thank you, Your Excellency. I represent Ida Federal Constituency, the center of Igala Kingdom. I am from Kogi State. Mr. Speaker, I seek the approval of the House to suspend the very important needs for me to read the motions. Urgent need to address both mishaps in Ibaji, local government area of Kogi State, and provide lasting solution to water transportation challenge in Ibaji local government area of Kogi State. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Motion to be heard. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion,
I represent Ida Federal Constituency, Center of the Igala Kingdom. I am from Kogi State. Mr. Speaker, the House notes that the Ibaji local government
please
area of Kogi State, which is mostly riverine and flood-prone, with the nearly 80% of its landmass submerged during the rainy season, traversed by River Niger and the home of citizens who are predominantly farmers' activities, producing rice, yam, cassava, fish, and vegetable. Concerned that due to near complete absence of infrastructure, particularly motorable routes within the council area, the only viable means of transportation of persons, goods, and services is by water, and most often time with the use of purely maintained and overcrowded boats. Worried that boat mishaps in Ibaji local government area have become a recurring event which leads to huge losses of several lives and property every year. In form of the tragic boat mishaps which occur in Ibaji local government area of Kogi State on Tuesday, 30th September 2025, when a boat conveying over 80 passengers from Onogu community to Ilusi community capsized in the River Niger, leading to the death of more than 30 persons, with over 20 persons still unaccounted for now. Disturbed that despite the frequency of boat tragedy in the council area, there has been little or no government intervention provisions of critical transportation infrastructures or regulations. Cognizance of the primary purpose of government, which is the security and welfare of the people, as ensuring in Section 14, subsection 2B of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as author. Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, resolve to observe a minute of silence in honor of the victims of the Ibaji boat mishaps which occurred on Tuesday, 30th September 2025. Mandate the Committee on Safety Standards and Regulations and National Inland Waterway to evaluate and receive briefings on safety measures from the Federal Ministry of Transportation and the National Inland Waterway Authority, NIWA. Urge the National Emergency Agency, NEMA, to provide relief material and support to the bereaved families and survivors of the accident. Urge the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Works, to immediately commence the rehabilitation or reconstruction of the Ida-Ibaji Anambra Highway to reduce the reliance on water transportation. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder to this motion? Honorable, I can see the first property include Honorable Geoffrey Kinney. Please, can you rise for recognition? You are most welcome.
Your Excellency, the Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives. Honorable colleagues, my name is Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie-Karl. I represent the people of Nigeria, starting from Ben, the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm from Abia State. I rise this morning to move a motion for an urgent need for a coordinated diplomatic and domestic response to the proposed Nigerian Religious Freedom Accountability Act of 2025, U.S. Senate Bill S2747, and to mischaracterizations of Nigeria's security and religious freedom landscape. It's a matter of urgent public importance that we suspend the rules for it to be seen as urgent and for it to be heard now. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Okezie-Karl, representing the people of Nigeria, starting from Ben, the Federal Constituency. Like I mentioned, Mr. Speaker, it's an urgent, matter of urgent public importance, need for a coordinated diplomatic and domestic response to the proposed Nigerian Religious Freedom Accountability Act of 2025, U.S. Senate Bill S2747, and to mischaracterization of Nigeria's security and religious freedom landscape. This bill is sponsored by all members of this House. The House notes that on 9th September 2025, Mr. Speaker, a bill titled Nigeria's Religious Freedom Accountability Act of 2025, S2747, was introduced in the United States Senate, seeking to require the U.S. Secretary of State to designate Nigeria a consigned country of particular concern, if you like, country of particular concern, known as the CPC, and to impose sanctions on Nigerian officials under Executive Order 13818, Global Magnitsky, and related authorities. The House further notes that the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, USCIRF, has in recent annual report recommended Nigeria for CPC designation, citing persistent violence and violations and state failures to protect against non-state actor abuses. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the House recognizes that Nigeria's Constitution guarantees freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, and bars adoption of a state religion, and that successive administrations, security agencies, faith leaders, and civil society continue to undertake measures to protect all worshippers and prosecute offenders, as reflected in the U.S. Department of State's 2023's country chapter and prior reports. Mr. Speaker, the House also observes that insecurity in Nigeria is complex and multi-causal, driven by insurgency, driven by criminal banditry, farmer-herder conflicts, separatist violations, and communal disputes affecting citizens of all faiths. International reporting attributes a significant share of fatalities to terrorist groups and criminal gangs, rather than state policy on a single religious dynamic. The Speaker of the House is concerned that external legislative action based on incomplete or decontextualized assessment risks undermining Nigerian sovereignty, misrepresenting facts, straining strategic relations, and unintentionally emboldening violent actors. Mindful of Nigeria's long-standing partnership with the United States as our ally, especially on counterterrorism, human rights, democratic governance, and interfaith dialogue, the African Union's emphasis on tolerance and inclusive societies. Based on this, Mr. Speaker, the House resolves as follows. Number one, condemn all forms of violence and persecution against any person or group on the basis of religion or belief, and commiserate with all victims irrespective of faith. The House resolves to reject outrightly narratives that frame Nigerian security crisis as a singularly religious conflict or a state-sponsored persecution, and reaffirms Nigeria's constitutional protections, freedom of religion and belief. The House mandates committees of foreign affairs, national security and intelligence, interior and information, national orientation and values, to within 21 days coordinate with A, the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Nigerian Embassy in Washington, D.C., to lodge a formal diplomatic demand to the sponsors of S-2747, relevant U.S. committees, transmitting empirical data and Nigerians' official position. B, coordinate with the U.S. mission in Nigeria and interested U.S. legislators to propose a Nigeria-U.S. joint fact-finding and dialogue mechanism, freedom of religion or belief, with participation from faith leaders and independent experts, and to invite U.S. CIRF to a hearing or briefing of this House to examine sources, methodology, and remedies. And if they like, invite a delegation of this Parliament, the 6 geopolitical zones of this country, to brief the U.S. Senate on the facts on ground. The House resolved to call on the National Human Rights Commission, police, DSS, and relevant state authorities to submit to the House within 30 days a consolidated report on investigations and prosecutions relating to religious-framed violence since year 2023, identifying bottlenecks and resource needs. This will confirm the House and government position that there is no state-sponsored prosecution on the basis of religion. The House further mandates the committees on legislative compliance to ensure execution of these resolutions, Mr. Speaker, and to report back to the House within 28 days. The House resolved to order that this resolution be transmitted to the Presidency, Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the heads of security agencies, United States Congress leadership, Senate Foreign Relations, House Foreign Affairs, the U.S. Department of State and the USC, IRF, the African Union, and ECOWAS Commission. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Because of the sensitive nature of this subject matter, while I will call on seconder to this motion, we'll allow 1 or 2 people to make comments where necessary. So any seconder to this motion? We'll take...
I appreciate the import of this move in the U.S. Senate. It has been read twice on the floor of the Senate and referred to a committee as we speak. And if we do not take urgent steps to nip it in the bud and it passes the Senate, to reverse it will take us a longer time and cost us even more resources. Mr. Speaker, the main problem here comes from, one, those who deliberately demarcate Nigeria outside the country, including Nigerians, for a variety of reasons. 2, gross misinformation deeply embedded in the nature of the American educational system. In other words, for many of the children, many of the parents, even some legislators, still look at Nigeria with the eyes of the 1950s and 60s. They do not believe that this country has matured and grown beyond this issue of ethnic contestations and disagreements and dislodgements over issues. Over the years, we have gone beyond this. I can't even remember when last communities started fighting because of the Bible or the Quran or because they want to worship Ogun or Shopona. No, Nigerians are concerned with existential issues. And I think the bill, or the motion, as ably presented by the Deputy Speaker, requires us to use all the networks we have and to encourage all the relevant committees of the House and also get the Senate, to get involved in this, to engage those who are handling this matter on behalf of the U.S. government. When Ted Cruz raised this issue, many people thought it was just a statement. It is not. There is an agenda designed to rubbish some of the progress we have made so far in rolling back those elements, those contradictions, those contestations that have continued to undermine our democracy and encourage the institutions and agencies that have promoted corruption and misunderstanding in our society. Mr. Speaker, I support, as a co-mover of this motion, I support the way it has been presented, and I urge my colleagues not to think that this is just an ordinary statement. It is being pursued methodically in the U.S. Senate, and we must engage it before a conclusion is reached. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Chair, Committee Foreign Affairs.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this motion couldn't have come at any other time than this appropriate time. Mr. Speaker, I commend the Deputy Speaker for coming up with this motion. Mr. Speaker, this matter has been known, it has dragged for too long. In the House, in the Congress in the US, a subcommittee of the Foreign Affairs had been on this matter, and they conducted a public hearing. I need to give this information. They had a public hearing. Mr. Speaker, they denied Nigerian mission and Nigerians' audience and participation. Mr. Speaker, I've had calls to engage the mission in Nigeria here and to tell them that the issue at hand is not religious. I cited the case of Mr. President being a Muslim married to a Christian. I cited a case of an Islamic scholar in Katsina who was honored, and on his way home he was murdered by bandits. Mr. Speaker, I cited several issues to show that we do not have religious crisis in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, like the leader canvassed that it is a deliberate attempt to damage Nigeria's image, to cause problems in this country. And because the motion presented by Mr. Deputy Speaker is investigative in nature, Mr. Speaker, I wouldn't want to dance into the arena as much. I support and I concur that this investigation should be thoroughly carried out. And our leaders in the Senate too should also do the same, so that we're on the same page to really convey the true position of things. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Wali.
This matter through the parliamentary process of the US system. I don't know whether this country is having a lobby or lobbyist on the Capitol. It is traditional. Countries like Nigeria is a country of interest to the US. Mr. Speaker, I was in the diplomatic service of this country, and I serve on the Capitol. I report the happenings on the Capitol. I know how the US government system has a tremendous interest of this country because of the strategic position of Nigeria in the world, not in Africa. Mr. Speaker, this issue, the country of particular concern is a US government policy on countries that are very strategic and very sensitive in world politics and world energy security. Today, the action of Nigeria can turn the history and the dynamics of energy in the world. So Nigeria is a country of particular interest. It is not something that is new. It is there within the security cycle, and it is there within the diplomatic politics. But how do we address this issue? Is the way we address the issue of when the US National Security Council issue a report that Nigeria will be a failed state in 2015. God so kind, I was the secretary of that committee in the Senate. We went to the US system, anywhere in the US system, in order to address that, until we extracted commitment from the US that this report is not the US government position. We went to the US Congress, the Senate, the National Security Council, wherever. So it is the parliament that should re-engineer its vigorous, aggressive parliamentary diplomacy and address this system. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Sada. Honorable Billy, I think we take just your own comments and then we put the question.
Thank you, constituency of Edo State. A very proud Benin chief. Mr. Speaker, this is a very, very sensitive and serious issue we have at our hands right now. Mr. Speaker, Nigeria cannot afford to avoid global politics. Just like my honorable senior colleague alluded, Honorable Sada Soli, that what we are seeing here is global politics, and we cannot shy away from it. It is not enough to say we are being targeted as a country, but we must put in place the necessary machinery to fight a cause like this. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, I don't think Nigeria has an ambassador to the United States. As we speak, I don't believe Nigeria has a permanent representative to the United Nations and so many other countries. Considering the role Nigeria plays in the African continent, Mr. Speaker, I think at this point, even if we succeed in doing this investigation and getting these reports, the America that I know, they have their own procedures. If we don't have the proper channel that they recognize, I'm sorry, that investigation and report might amount to nothing. At this point, Mr. Speaker, I think it should be one of those channels to reach out to Mr. President to see a need, why we need an ambassador to the United States, why we need a permanent representative to the United Nations, because at some point, these are the people they want to discuss with when it comes to Nigerian issues. You and I might not be able to go there unless we go through the parliamentary avenue, which is also a channel. But again, this calls for a holistic solution. While the executive is finding a way to resolve these issues through that diplomatic means, the legislature should also be looking for a way. Why do we have the Nigeria-US Parliamentary Friendship Group? Why do we have the Committee on Foreign Affairs? This is the time, Mr. Speaker. This is the time to wake up let's begin to interface with our colleagues in the US Congress, in the US Senate. Why do we have the IPU? Because things like this will come up. We are not only saying this for Nigeria. At some point, we are fighting this fight for Africa. Because if we let this go through, Nigeria will just be the first in so many other countries in Africa. This is why Nigeria cannot afford to fail, not only Nigeria now, not to fail Africa. So, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, this is an issue we must take very seriously. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for granting me the floor.
Right Honorable Benjamin Okezi Kalu for bringing up this matter of urgent public importance to protect the Nigerian integrity, the name of Nigeria, as well as our status in the community of the world. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, is on record that by population projection, Nigeria's population by 2050 is going to be 440 million people, and that is going to place Nigeria third most populous country in the world. So such cannot, at whatever level of influence, be taken for granted. Trying to designate Nigeria as one of the CPCs by imposing sanctions on Nigeria, I don't think is something that this parliament can sit down and watch it flowing like a water under the river without asking questions. On this note, I would like to amend prayer 3 and delete prayer 4 because content of prayer 4 preempts the outcome of prayer 3's assignment whenever the report is submitted. With your kind permission, Mr. Speaker, I would like prayer 3 to be read and sound as follows. Mandates the Committee on Foreign Affairs, National Security and Intelligence, Police Affairs, Interior, Civil Societies, Human Rights and National Orientation and Values to within 21 days coordinate with A, the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Nigerian Embassy in Washington, which by extension is going to address concern raised by Honorable Billy Famous Osawaro, to launch a formal diplomatic demarch to transmitting empirical data and Nigeria's official position. B, the U.S. mission in Nigeria and interested U.S. legislators to propose a Nigerian-U.S. joint findings and dialogue mechanisms to freedom of religion or belief with participation from both faith leaders and independent experts, and to invite USCIRF to a hearing briefing of this House to examine sources, methodologies, and remedies. This equally addresses Billy Famous Asawaro's position. So for me, a prayer 4 that reads as follows should be deleted completely to avoid preempting the outcome of the above investigation. Call on the National Human Rights Commission, police, DSS, and relevant state authorities to submit to the House within 30 days a consolidated report on investigation and precautions rotating to religiously framed violence since 2023, identifying bottlenecks and resources. All this information can be investigated by the committees above that are assigned by the resolution of the House to bring up a report. But if you ask these agencies in 30 days, which is 7 days after the committee's assignment, to bring up a report, is going to be a duplication or preemptive of the committee's this. So this is the reason why I raised this amendment. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any seconder to this amendment? Seconder. Right Honorable Mohammed.
Thank you, Mr. I'm from Ogun State.
Today is one of the days that calls for a sober reflection. How emotional torture could be used to suppress a growing country like ours in Nigeria. Irrespective of that, with this CPC and all the submissions made by my honorable colleagues, the amendment I'm seeking is because Honorable Billy alluded to it, but didn't raise it as an amendment to this motion we have on the floor. That is about the United Nations. In Yoruba land, they say, we get to copy the United Nations and let them be formally aware about the position. Therefore, since the House has carried that prayer 4 be deleted, I want to add it as prayer 4 to that of 3. I so move, Mr. Speaker, as our distinguished honorable colleagues. Thank you.
Please, can you come again? You said you want to amend or bring prayer 4 to what? Please, can you say it again so that we take note of exactly what you are saying?
Yeah, prayer 4, that is official communication of this motion to the United Nations formally, so that they are aware of what the U.S. Congress is doing, trying to do to Nigeria.
Okay, so substitution of prayer 4?
Yes, sir.
Delete the prayer 4 as it is and substitute with what you are now.
Exactly, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay. Any seconder to this amendment or additional prayer? Any seconder to it? Honorable Tijani Kayode.
Your Excellency, Mr. Isiaka, I so second.
Those in support of this amendment. Motion on, sorry, we have already done that. The second business of the day, titles.
Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, 6th Alteration Bill, 2025. Local government areas in Gombe State. First reading. Nigeria Consumer Credit Corporation Establishment Bill, 2025. First reading. Chartered Institute of Human Resources and Strategies Management of Nigeria Establishment Bill, 2025. First reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, 6th Alteration. Creation of Local Government Areas in Edo State Bill, 2025. First reading. Fisheries and Aquaculture Institute, Agatu, Establishment Bill, 2025. First reading. Federal University of Agriculture, Etiosa, Establishment Bill, 2025. First reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, 6th Alteration. Creation of State Constituencies Bill, 2025. First reading. Federal Colleges of Education Act Amendment Bill, 2025. First reading. Federal Roads Maintenance Agency Act Amendment Bill, 2025. First reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, 6th Alteration, Creation of Ose State Bill, 2025. First reading. Nigerian Film Corporation Act, Repeal and Enact Bill, 2025. First reading. National Agency for the Control of HIV/AIDS Act, Amendment Bill, 2025. First reading.
Honorable colleagues, the third business of the day is presentation of report of the
One Federal Constituency, Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do receive the report of the Ad hoc Committee on River State Oversight of the Emergency Administration in River State. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Nweke, please can you find your seat and please be silent.
Isa JCPHD representing Balanga Billiri Federal Constituency from Gombe State. I'm also the Deputy Chairman. I rise to second the motion moved by our able and respected leader. I hereby second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, please can you proceed and lay your report. The first order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, Cap C 23, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, to create additional local government areas in Gombe State and for related matters, standing in the names of Honorable Usman Bello Kumo and 5 other honorable members. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first.
My respected colleagues, I am Malam Usman Bello Kumo, member representing Akko Federal Constituency.
Is that first name on your certificate?
Mr. Speaker, I am Malam Comrade Usman Bello Kumo, member representing Akko Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Gombe State. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, I rise by the leave of this House to lead the debate on a bill for an act to alter the provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, Cap C 23, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, to create additional local government areas in Gombe State and for related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any okay, Clerk.
Thank you, my speaking speaker. I remain Honorable Chief Dr. Billy Famous Adesuwa Sawaru. I represent the good people of Oriomo Federal Constituency of Edo State, a very proud Benin chief. Mr. Speaker, I move that a bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Business Development of Nigeria and for other related matters, HB 2192, be read for the second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Ugbo. I represent the good and wonderful people of Kwande Ushongo Federal Constituency of Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to...
Chairman Billy, Chair Billy, please take control and bring orderliness.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that this bill seeks to amend the Code of Conduct Tribunal Act 2024 to make it more responsive to the needs of public officers to undertake charitable and philanthropic ventures to empower and enhance the lives of other citizens and to maximize their philanthropic potentials for the greater good of the public. Mr. Speaker, this bill is very simple and straightforward. It seeks to provide legitimacy for public servants to be able to reach out for support and funding from charitable, philanthropic, and non-governmental organizations for the purpose of providing intervention and providing support to our communities.
There is a point of order, Honorable Tasir. Please sit down. Let's hear what...
Bill be read the second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
I rise to move the motion on the need to reconstruct the Kaba-Egbe Road using a specially designed road construction
Honorable
model.
colleagues.
The House notes
Honorable
that
colleagues, you are distracting the speaker, please.
Honorable colleagues, allow the speaker to listen to this motion, honorable colleagues. The House notes that Kogi West Senatorial District with headquarters in Kaba Town hosts two major cement factories, namely Dangote Cement.
Mr. Speaker, please protect us to protect you. They are distracting you, sir.
Also note that Dangote alone parades not less than 10,000 heavy-duty trucks, each weighing 45 tons, plying already dilapidated roads in the senatorial district, thereby leaving the Kaba to Egbe Road in a deplorable state. Observe that the Obajano to Kaba Road constructed under the tax credit scheme awarded to Dangote Cement is already failing few years after completion due to the immense pressure caused by heavy vehicular traffic evident on Kaba to Egbe Road sections, where thousands of 45-ton trucks converge daily. As a matter of fact, for every 5 cars counted, over 100 trailers are observed. The stop that Kaba to Yamoye Road in the Jumu local government area, allegedly awarded to Dangote Cement under the tax credit scheme 2 years ago, has completely collapsed due to heavy-duty trucks, traffic, commuter from southwest, south-south axis, detour through Ekiti and Ondo State, turning a 30-minute trip into 2 hours, 30 minutes journey.
Order, please. Honorable members, order, please.
That Manga Cement recently
Honorable Rais.
Between Iluagba, Ijumu local government area, and Mopamuro local government area of Kogi State, thereby adding about 20,000 heavy-duty trucks altogether.
Please maintain orderliness, please. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Aware that Manga Cement recently commenced operation between Iluagba in the Jumu local government area of Kogi State and Mopamuro local government area of Kogi State, thereby adding about 20,000 heavy-duty trucks of not less than 45 tons each on the already deteriorated roads in the Central District. Concerned that these trucks contribute nothing towards the road maintenance, despite the damage caused to the infrastructure and the environmental hazards posed by the emissions which people inhale daily. Nothing is done about that. Worried that the deplorable state of Kaba to Egbe Road have become a safe haven for criminals, fueling insecurity as bandits and armed Fulani herdsmen exploit the area to ambush travelers, thereby crippling economic activities, increasing food insecurity, as farmers and traders can no longer safely access their farmland or markets. Cognizant that standard road construction will not survive, except it is specially designed to carry a minimum load of 60 tons, given that thousands of trucks converge on the Kaba-Egbe Road daily, exerting immense pressure that conventional road construction cannot withstand. Hence, the need to reconstruct the said road. The House resolved to, 1, urge the Federal Ministry of Works to include the construction of Kaba to Egbe Road in the 2026 budget estimate and concession the road after construction to a competent private company to generate money from articulated vehicles for maintaining the road. 2, also urge the Dangote and Manga Cement companies to make the operating environment habitable for living and provide parked lots for companies, trailers, rather than parking on the roadside to prevent gridlock and accidents. 3, mandate the Committee on Works to visit and inspect the road from Kaba to Egbe to ascertain its deplorable state and report within 4 weeks for legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Honorable Harry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
My name is Honorable Uchenna Harris Okonkwo.
North, Ughelli South, and Udu. I'm from Delta State. I rise this beautiful afternoon to move this motion on the need to complete the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology, NITT Center, Efroto, Ughelli South Local Government Area of Delta State. The House notes that the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology was established in 1986 by Decree 6, now known as Cap 116 of the Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2004. The House also notes that the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology offers corporate leadership, strategic management, training, research, advisory services, transport intelligence, monitoring, and technology development to meet the country's needs. Aware that since the establishment of the Institute, it has provided strategic leadership training to senior and middle level manpower in the transport and logistics sectors. Further notes that due to the growing need of safety in transportation and logistics management modes to reduce accidents and attendant carnage, the Institute established training centers in the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria to provide the much-needed training. The centers were proposed and cited in Katsina, Kano, Borno, Benue, Ekiti, Lagos, Ebonyi, and Delta in Efroto, all of which are currently operational, with the exception of that of Delta in Efroto Center, Ughelli South Local Government, Ughelli North, Ughelli South to do Federal Constituency. Also aware that the Efroto Center is about 50% completed, but has since been abandoned, to making it the only center yet to become operational. Cognizant that institutes like the University of Petroleum Resources, Petroleum Training Institute, and other oil companies within the area are waiting for the takeoff of the center, with the University of Petroleum Resources signing an MOU with NITT to provide pipeline transportation for the nation's oil and gas industry at the center because of its strategic location. The House therefore resolves, 1, to urge the Nigeria Institute of Transport Technology, NITT, to complete the construction and equip the Efroto Center for operational activities and put it into use. And 2, mandate the Committee on Land Transport to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative actions. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Thank you, Honorable Ebe. This is an infrastructure-related motion. It doesn't require it.
I rise to move a motion on the need to strengthen security infrastructure in rural communities of Kebbi State and other parts of the country. The House notes the rising wave of insecurity across rural communities in Nigeria, particularly in Kebbi State, where the incessant attacks by bandits, cattle rustlers, kidnappers, and other criminal elements have continued to disrupt farming, displace residents, and threaten livelihoods, leading to the abandonment of farmlands, forced school closures, disrupted health services, and severely undermined economic activities in agrarian communities. Concerned that the affected communities lack the presence of security personnel, and where formations exist, they are under-resourced, understaffed, and ill-equipped to respond effectively to security threats. Also concerned that the absence of modern security infrastructure, such as patrol vehicles, communication systems, surveillance technology, and operational bases limits the operational capacity of law enforcement. Aware that the Nigerian Constitution under Section 14, subsection 2b, provides that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Convinced that strengthening rural security architecture will not only restore peace and public confidence, but will also boost agricultural production, reduce internal displacement, and enable community development. Thus, the House resolves to 1, urge the Federal Ministry of Interior and the Nigerian Police Force to establish, upgrade, and adequately equip police outposts and security stations in identified rural flashpoints across Kebbi State and other affected parts of the country. Also urged the Ministry of Police Affairs and the NSCDC to deploy more personnel and provide mobility, surveillance equipment, and communication tools for rural patrol operations. Further urge the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning to prioritize funding rural security infrastructure in the 2026 appropriation estimates. Again urge the state government, traditional institutions, and community-based organizations to partner with security agencies in intelligence gathering and peace-building initiatives. Lastly, mandate the Committees on National Security and Intelligence, Police Affairs, and Army to assess the security gaps in rural communities and recommend appropriate policy and budgetary interventions. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder?
Of the federal constituency, I'm from Benue State, the food basket of the nation, a proud Igede son. I rise this afternoon to second the motion as ably moved by my honorable colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion.
Noka for PhD. I represent the good people of Ehimembano, Ihitu Boma, Obo Federal Constituency. I'm from Imo State. And I rise to move the motion, the need to investigate the Federal Scholarship Board's alleged abuse of process, breach of terms of engagement, and failure to pay scholarship stipends to Nigerian students in diaspora. The House notes the alleged abuse of process, breach of terms of engagement, and failure to pay scholarship stipends to Nigerian students in diaspora under government-sponsored scholarships and bilateral education agreements. Also aware that the Federal Scholarship Board, FCB, under the Federal Ministry of Education, is responsible for administering scholarships to Nigerian students at home and abroad. And the implementation of terms and agreements is solely their responsibility for the welfare of Nigerian students in the diaspora. Worried about the outcry by the Union of Nigerian Bilateral Education Agreements, scholars, and alleged odious mistreatment and starvation of funds, which has led students into unholy survival struggles, endangering their lives and leaving many vulnerable to danger. Cognizant that if the future leaders of Nigerians are abandoned in foreign lands due to administrative inefficiencies or corruption, it is a reflection of poor commitment to education and youth development. And as the people's representatives, legislators are under social contracts to protect Nigerian scholars on scholarships abroad from abuse and humiliation. Worried that Nigerian scholars abroad face delays, non-payment, and unexplained deductions, causing financial distress and tarnishing the country's international image, thus undermining the scholarship program's objectives of fostering human capital development. The House is invited to resolve to mandate the committees on diaspora, university education, foreign affairs, and anti-corruption to thoroughly investigate the operations of the Federal Scholarship Board on the alleged mismanagement of scholarship funds and non-payment of stipends from 2015 to date to find a lasting solution to support Nigerians studying abroad on scholarships. Mr. Speaker, my very dear colleagues, I so move.
Please, allow Mr. Speaker, please.
Any seconder, please? Honorable Kelechi.
The right, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Kelechi Wogu. I represent the people of Nigeria, starting from Eche Omuma Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion moved by my respected colleague. I so move.
Those in support of this members of the minority parties, that there will be a meeting of minority leaders with members of Labour Party by 3 p.m. and with members of APGA 4 p.m. at the minority parties meeting room 4.17. Attendance is important. Signed, Minority Leader. The second announcement is in respect of committee to investigate NCC MTN matter, a motion that was raised yesterday. And the committee will be, the other committee will be chaired by Honorable Victor Nwokolo, with Honorable Gabriel Saleh-Zok as the deputy. We have Honorable Ismail Dalla Kusada as member, Honorable Gaza Jonathan, Honorable Tolani Shagaya, Honorable Upom Udo Emmanuel Ifyong, Honorable Nabufe Chinwe Clara, Honorable Hamed Adewale Wahid, Honorable Felix Uche Nweke, Honorable Sunday C. Umeha, Honorable Namdi Izeshi, Dairu Serki, Honorable Mukhtar Mohammed, Honorable Rodney E. Amboywewe, Honorable Adeboyega Adefarati, Honorable Ibrahim Mohammed, Honorable Zakaria Dauda Nyampa, and Honorable Zanna Usman as members. The Leader of the House, please can you move for the House to
matters of urgent public importance, which was used because of issues arising from the operation of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Yes, for rapid revision concerning the procedural gaps and the vessel concerns from Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, digital, electronic, online, and non-online traditional consumers lending regulations. This commission intends to take some actions which have not been thoroughly considered. The motion was raised yesterday, and the House resolved to set up an ad hoc committee, which Mr. Speaker did this morning. And the mandate of the ad hoc committee is to examine everything regarding this in particular issue of this digital and non-digital consumer lending rates. Is directing the service providers, all in the communication industry, MTN, Airtel, Glo, and the rest people, to remain status quo, pending the proper investigation and submission of the report of ad hoc committee. So by this, both NCC and court are to comply and hold on till further notice. None of them should go further with what they intend to do until the House finally resolves the matter on the floor of the House. The committee have 6 weeks to do their work and report back to the House for further legislative issues.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.